summer so far. My fellow money experts and I have created this list of end of summer household tasks to get you ready for autumn and winter, and ultimately save you money too. First up is pack away and protect garden furniture. Garden furniture is great. It allows us to enjoy our gardens completely, to eat outside and socialise outside. However, it is exposed to the elements, and this can cause damage that will reduce the life of the products. Therefore, it's wise to get protective covers or even put away any furniture that you can. Also, make sure that they are secured in case things get a little windy. Doing this right at the end of summer will mean that your garden furniture is good to use again once the spring comes around. Pack away and protect garden toys. Michelle at Time and Pence agrees with me on this one. She says, make sure you clean and put away any children's garden toys, sandpits, paddling pools, etc. That way they will stay good as new and can be used again the following year. And she's right, you don't want to have to pay out for new toys every year just because you couldn't be bothered to clean them up this year. Plus, doing this will mean that the first signs of summer next year, you'll have everything ready to go. Seal your fences and external woodwork and do any fixes. If you've been putting this one off, well, put it off no more. Sealing your fences and woodwork now will protect it over the winter months and stop any unnecessary and potentially expensive damage. Likewise, it's time to do any niggling external repairs. For example, we needed to refelt our shed roof as a few bits were coming loose. Now we know that our shed will be safe from leaks and the contents will stay protected. Clear out any unused summer clothes and sell on. Ruth from ruthmakesmoney.com says, at the end of summer, I go through my wardrobe, and if there are any summer or holiday clothes that I haven't worn in 2 years, I donate to charity or sell on eBay. I always feel great having a clear out. It frees up some space and helps me to look forward to a new season. And she is absolutely right. Clearing out and selling on will keep your wardrobes free from clutter in the months ahead. Lee from Homely Economics goes further and says, it's a good time to rotate your summer and winter clothes. You can help your summer clothes go through storage without getting smelly or moldy by washing, drying and folding them neatly and vacuum sealing them. Most of us have more clothes than we need, to be honest, so rotating them properly helps them to come out ready to wear and not smelling icky. The last thing I want when I pull out my favourite summer clothes next year is to realise that I have developed a funny smell, or even worse, that they are no longer wearable. Spending time at the end of summer will keep your favourite clothes looking well looked after. Sort through your kids' clothes and indoor toys. As we get to the end of summer, we start thinking about Christmas, and it's not that far away. It's a good time to review your kids' stuff. My kids have been largely distracted by the garden for a few months, and this means that their indoor toys have been somewhat neglected. Some of them they have outgrown and can be sold on, but others I wish we never had in the first place. McDonald's toys that we've inherited and stuff that comes in party bag are a good example. Yeah, my kids love them for 2 minutes, but now they're forgotten. This gives me a great window of opportunity to get them out of the house. Clothes also fall into this category because I know that I've kept many of my children's clothes from last winter, but I know that they will not fit her now. I intend to go through these and take them to our local, nearly new shop where they will sell them on my behalf. Prepare your herb garden. There are 2 things you can do here. The first is to bring your herbs indoors, creating a windowsill herb garden, which will give you quick access to fresh herbs. It will also make your home feel brighter and smell brighter and fresher with all those lovely plants around. The alternative is to harvest lots of herbs and prepare them for use over the winter. Typically, I dry lots of herbs and store them in jars. This works well for oregano especially, as drying actually enhances the flavour. Others, such as coriander, can be frozen in bunches and are then ready to use straight from the freezer. I find this works particularly well for soup recipes. An even better idea that I saw was to freeze them in varying combinations in olive oil or butter or stock. Preserve excess fruits and vegetables. Becky at Eat Simply Eat says, make jam from your fruit, and it pretty much summarises this section. However, I prefer not to limit myself to just jam and recommend just stewing up your fruits for use in crumbles and pies later. The same goes for leftover veg. Make a few soup combinations and store in the freezer. You'll be grateful for them when the temperature has dropped and you want a nice warming dinner. John and Emma from Tuppenny's Fireplace said, use your excess garden produce to make frugal Christmas gifts. I'm currently making pickles with the masses of cucumbers and courgettes I've got, and I make a mean runner bean pickle. I have orders every year from family and friends, and I think this is perfect. It kills 2 birds with 1 stone, uses up leftover food, and saves on Christmas gift. Love it. Clean house exteriors. As the weather deteriorates, so does my desire to go outside, particularly if it's to clean the bit of my house I can't see from the inside. Therefore, I always try and give the outside of the house a bit of a spruce up. This includes cleaning the windows, doors, and fascias. Don't get me wrong, I don't go overboard, as I know that 6 months of rain is going to have my house looking a mess again. But I like to get to a good starting point. Eileen from Your Money Sorted takes this further, suggesting it's a great time to check that your gutters, gully traps and drains are all clear to prevent any issues with flooding during the winter. We did this last year as we were getting an overspill from one of our gutters. When we looked, they were full of leaves and moss. We are pleased that we sorted it when we did. Tidy your garden. It may seem odd to tidy up your garden just to the point when you're about to start spending far less time in it. Trust me when I say it is worth the effort. Trimming back plants, trees and hedges now will mean that when they start to thrive again in the spring, they will be the size you want them to be. If you leave them, they will just go bigger and bigger, leaving you with either an overgrown garden or twice as much work to do. Emma from My Debt Diary learned this from experience. She says, at the end of last summer, we covered our flower beds in bark chips after spending hours and hours over the summer weeding them. It slowed the regrowth of weeds right down and meant we have spent a fraction of the time weeding the garden this year and have been able to spend far more time enjoying it instead. Get your house ready. As you start to retreat into your home, it's worth taking time to review the space you'll be spending the next few months in. This might mean having a bit of a clear out or doing some redecorating. Thinking about how you are going to heat your home should be a consideration too. Emma, the Money Whisperer, says, shut your trickle vents and ensure instead that you open the windows once a day to ventilate the room and change the air. It's also worth dealing with any drafts and boosting any insulation that you have in your home. Switch your energy supplier. With energy in mind, particularly in this cost of living crisis, Helen from The Complaining Cow recommends you look now, or at least at the start of autumn, for switching energy to allow it a few weeks to change before the heating goes on, and if your boiler needs a service, do it now before they get busy and deals won't be around so much. Your spending on energy will increase over the winter months. Taking the time to ensure that you are paying the lowest possible price will potentially save you a small fortune. So which of these end of summer household tasks will you need to do in a few weeks' time? Let me know in the comments and hit subscribe whilst you're there to see more videos like this one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.